Okay, I am going to be giving you my TNA review, and I usually, when I have a doctor's appointment, I don't give TNA reviews, but today I had time to do it. Um, this TNA was way better than last week's TNA, way better. It still wasn't great, but it was definitely an improvement than the last week's pile of shit. Um, you see, TNA is going on. I don't know what TNA direction it's going in, really. I think I might know, but I might not know what they're going. I know some of the things that they're going with. I know some of the things that they're not going with. So why don't I just um, review what I want to talk about? So let's get ready here. Okay, so the commentators on this show are Todd Kennelly, Mike Tenay, and Taz. Yeah, believe it or not, Taz did commentary tonight. Um, it shows the wedding and the aftermath from last week. Pretty much the aftermath was them helping each other backstage. And then we get the Aces and Eights backstage. I guess there were guys riding on motorcycles and they're all pumped up that they're doing that. Then TNA actually gets a Titans one. It never gets a Titans one. It just kind of gets, um, it just gets fireworks. So I thought that was pretty cool that TNA got a Titans one. Then Aces and Eights come out and cut a promo. Taz cuts the promo. He says that he did it because he saw an opportunity in Bully Ray's and Brooke, I guess Brooke Ray's Hogan wedding, or Brooke, I think they're starting calling her Brooke Hogan. Um, but yeah, and he says that he wants to get revenge on TNA, and he wanted to be a part of a dominant group, which they weren't really dominant until Taz came in. And they also said he also said that I guess in his contract that if anyone lays a finger on Taz, he owns the whole company. Well, that's obviously a storyline, and I think that's gonna not happen. So we get Jesse and Taylor backstage. Jesse's pretty much helping her get Taylor prepared, get motivated for TNA's not for a championship match with Velvet Sky by using a toy Velvet Sky. This was shit. So then we get a TNA Shop.com ad. It shows a Christopher Daniels video package of pretty much everything he's done in his career. I thought that was pretty cool. And then we get Taz back on commentary, and Taz was a dick on commentary. Like, I know heels are supposed to be dicks, but he was just a real dick to Todd Kennelly. Like, he couldn't even call the match. You couldn't even call the match. They just wanted to know about Aces and Eights. What the fuck? No, you talk about fucking matches. Aces and Eights, he explained his actions, and I guess he didn't explain enough. Well, he fucking explained them. So then we get Taylor with Jesse defending the Knockouts Championship against Velvet Sky. It was a decent match. I'm gonna say this right now though. We are getting way too much. Okay, here's how the match ends. Velvet Sky hits a move, but Jesse ends up getting up on the apron. Velvet goes for a roll up. Taylor kicks out. Then Velvet's trying to go for a suplex, and I think Jesse swept her leg down and hold her legs while Taylor got the pin, so she retained the title. My problem is that there was way too much outside interference from Jesse. I know he's a heel. I know Taylor's a heel, so they're supposed to help each other. But fucking win matches yourself. You're making Taylor look bad, to be honest with you. Why can't you win a match yourself? I don't think Taylor's won a match herself since Bound for Glory. She couldn't even beat the diva that won Gut Check. I mean, she's a fucking rookie, and Taylor's been in it for a while, even in WWE. I just have a problem with that. And I guess we're going to have Open Fight Night in the UK, and so there's a video package of that. Stin's backstage, the interviewer, whoever's interviewing him is trying to interview him, but Stin says he's going to talk about everything in the ring. We get a lockdown ad. Kenny Kinn's backstage, and I guess he's talking to himself. So then Zima Ion comes up and says that look, and says we have a tag match tonight. He tells Zima Ion that he can take care of Christian York and Rob Van Dam, and he tells him to just stay up in the apron and look good while he does everything pretty much. And then Zima Ion's like, "You want to see me look good tonight?" And then he said that in the meal, so he talked to himself as well. So then we get a Joseph Park promo. He talks about how he didn't have much experience in wrestling, but he's not a wrestler. He's a lawyer. He's a wrestler. He says that next week on Gut Check, he's gonna call somebody out and he's gonna let us know next week. That's pretty much all he said. So then we get Kenny King and Zema Ion versus Christian York and Rob Van Dam. Pretty good tag team match. I liked it when Zema Ion jumped and Rob Van Dam caught him into a drop kick. I liked it when Christian York did when Zema Ion went off the ropes and then Christian York ran and did a jumping knee. Then Rob Van Dam eventually went for the 5-star frog splash, but Kenny King pushed him. It was Kenny King pushed him off the rope. Then Zema Ion ends up tagging himself in, and Christian York tried to fight him off, but Kenny King does a springboard neckbreaker and Zema Ion pins him for the victory. And Zema Ion was pissed, so I'm thinking eventually, I don't know when, because there's only 4 pay-per-views a year, but eventually it's going to be a fatal 4-way match between Rob Van Dam, Kenny King, Zema Ion, and Christian York for the X Division Championship, with Kenny King winning the title. Then Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan are backstage. It's kind of like that's thing. He's trying to get an interview, but they're gonna do their talking in the ring. Then it shows the tag team champions, which is Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez, attacking Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. Austin Aries and Bobby Roode backstage, and they're trying to decide who should face Hernandez. So Austin Aries said it should be Bobby Roode said it should be Austin Aries because he's quick, he's fast, and he has one of the most devastating moves in wrestling called the Brainbuster. I don't think that's the most devastating move, but it can be pretty devastating. But Austin Aries said that Bobby Roode should face him because he has he's the powerhouse. He can't match his technicality, and he's the longest reigning champion in the history of this company. Then Bobby Roode said, "Wait, but you beat me though." Yeah, I beat you twice. But he's like, but Bobby Roode says there was a fluke. Then Austin Aries says there was a little bit of a fluke in there. Then Bobby Roode's like, "I knew it. You finally admitted it." I thought that was hilarious. So then Austin Aries says, "Okay, yep, you're gonna face Hernandez," and then he just leaves. Then he's like, Austin Aries says he'll pick up the pieces. Then Bobby Roode's like, "Wait, I should pick up the pieces. I'm the powerhouse." So I thought that was pretty hilarious. Then we get and then it tells you about the Road to Lockdown tour ad. This time I wrote them down. So on February 1st in Florence, South Carolina, there's gonna be an event, and for February 2nd in Fayetteville, North Carolina, there's gonna be TNA events for those of you that are interested. Then it shows a Jeff Hardy video package, pretty much him winning the title and all his title defenses that he's had. So Jeff Hardy's backstage. Oh, I forgot to mention Christopher Daniels. Earlier in the night, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian were backstage, and Kazarian said he'd be there because he has his manager license, and Christopher Daniels said he's going to win the world title, and he's beaten 2 world champions. So that's pretty much it. Then Jeff Hardy's backstage, and he says that you gave me angel wins on my title, and Hardy says that he knows who Christopher Daniels is, and he's going to expose him for what he isn't. That's pretty much what he said. I don't know if other people know this, but Jeff Hardy kind of sounds like a robot when he talks. I think everyone knows that, though. He kind of sounds like one of those robots because he has no emotion in his promos. So then we got Bobby Roode versus Hernandez with Chavo Guerrero. Decent match here. Hernandez goes to do the flying shoulder off outside the ring. Austin Aries comes up and says, Roode. Aries and Roode start arguing. Chavo attacks Aries. Bobby Roode comes up from behind with a running bulldog and pins Hernandez for the win. And then they argue, and Bobby Roode says, I got the win. And Aries like, I helped you. So I thought that was pretty funny. This reminds me of Team Hell No from WWE. Then Kurt Angle's backstage, coming to the ring to cut a promo. It shows that I wrote WWE, but it shows a TNAshop.com ad. I messed that up. Then it shows Mike Knox attacking Kurt Angle again. So then Kurt Angle comes up to cut a promo. He says that he thought Aces and Eights were just going to be temporary, but he says that they're long term. And he tells wait a second, I forgot about Bully Ray's promo. Where's Bully Ray's promo? I wrote it down. I didn't write down Bully Ray's promo. I'll talk about it now. So I'll talk about angles after. Bully Ray came out earlier in the night. I forget when, but I didn't write his promo. He said that, and I guess Taz had to take a phone call, which is a little awkward. So Bully Ray said that it comes out and asks where Taz is. Mike Tenay says he took a phone call. He comes down to the ring. He said that you hurt a lot of people, Taz. And he asked what Taz is. He said he's a freaking coward. Says that he ruined his day and made it a nightmare. He says that Taz not only hurt him, he hurt Brooke Hogan, Hulk Hogan, Stin, and Bully Ray says he's not going to sleep until he gets revenge on the Aces and Eights, but he can't hurt the Aces and Eights because of his suspension. So Bully Ray asks Hulk Hogan to reinstate him, but he's not there, so he can't do it. Stin comes out and says that Hulk Hogan will do the right thing next week in Open Fight Night. That was pretty much it right there. So now let's get to Kurt Angle's promo. He comes out and says that Taz, well, pretty much like that the Aces and Eights have injured him, and have injured many people in the locker room, and that Taz doesn't know the meaning of revenge. Kurt Angle says that he wants his revenge to be against Ken Anderson. He calls out Ken Anderson, which is Mr. Anderson. He comes out with his music, so I'm glad they're still utilizing his music. And Anderson says, well, because Kurt Angle said he's going to fight him next week in Open Fight Night. Mr. Anderson says he doesn't want to fight Kurt Angle next week. He wants to fight him right now. He attacks Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle just gives him a clothesline, goes for the ankle lock. Mr. Anderson escapes, and Angle says that he won't be able to escape, and there's going to be no one to attack him from behind, because next week the match is going to be in a steel cage. I mean, they did do it before. I never got to see it, though, but I know they did it, so I want to see this match, because I never got to see the first match, because I wasn't a fan of TNA then. So then Christopher Daniels and Kazarian backstage getting ready for the match. Jeff Hardy's backstage. Aces and Eights backstage. This was the best thing of the night. Aces and Eights are backstage, and the hookers are being loud, and Mr. Anderson's like, "Hey, hookers, shut up!" And Devon's trying to calm him down, and he says, "The hookers never stop fucking talking. They're like fucking cats." So then he's like, "I have a cage match next week." Then Devon says, "Relax, man. We're not gonna let you go in there without a battle plan." So then I thought that was funny what Anderson said. Then we get Jeff Hardy defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Christopher Daniels with Kazarian. This was a decent match. Angel hits the Angels, wins. He doesn't get the pinfall. Hardy hits a face-first suplex off the turnbuckle. Daniels does a good move with his legs where he has a submission hold where he has his legs behind Hardy's head. I don't really know what it's called. Then Hardy ends up hitting the Twist of Fate stunner version, knocks Kazarian off the apron. Then Hardy hits the Twist of Fate on Daniels. Then Hardy drop kicks Kazarian, does a swanton to Daniels, gets the victory. Taz says, I'm going to go do my job as a broadcast journalist and interview Jeff Hardy. And earlier when Hardy was coming out, he's like, I don't think Hardy's going to have a good 2013. And then they're like, why? They're like, I have that feeling. Hardy's like, what are you going to do when the Aces and Eights, Taz asks Hardy, what are you going to do when the Aces and Eights hits this win and leaves you lying in it? A masked member of the Aces and Eights comes and ambushes Hardy with the bat to the knee. And, the bullpen hammer, bat, whatever it was. Hardy, and then the show ends. So I didn't think the show was the best. Like, it wasn't really worth watching. Like, I think it's okay to miss this show. I think the thing I would check out is probably Bobby Roode and Austin Aries stuff and the Aces and Eights backstage when Anderson told the hookers to shut up. That's about it. That was, yeah, the match. The Hardys and Daniels match was decent. The Christian York and RVD versus Zema Iron and Kenny King was decent. The other stuff wasn't really great, so you don't really need to check it out. I guess Hardy's now gonna feud with the Aces and Eights, and I guess they're making the Aces and Eights look strong, but at the same time, they're still kind of not really doing anything. But I guess the Aces and Eights are gonna start looking strong again, which I'm fine with. absolutely fine with. They look weak every week. Why am I saying absolutely? Now, you can name a time when aces and eights have looked strong. Last week, and now they looked pretty strong this week. Um, and next week when they an open fight night, please, I kind of want Mr. Anderson to beat Angle in the cage just to make aces and eights look strong. Um, then and that's pretty much it, guys. I will be back later on tonight to do a SmackDown review. And I won't be doing it alone. I'm not gonna tell you who's gonna be with me and doing. I might be doing it alone actually, but someone might be joining me on YouTube tonight. I don't. I've asked him if he's want to join. I'm not gonna tell you who it is because it's kind of point because then it will ruin the surprise, right? When when I get I'll tell you who. So tune into my SmackDown review for that special guest if he decides to join.